My name is Joy Barton. I'm the Chief Executive of Regain Laser Therapy. Regain Laser Therapy is a photonics company. We are a near-infrared therapeutic laser platform. We have proprietary technology, patents, IPO, freedom to operate, a seasoned, successful management team. We have devices out in the field, and as I'll show you in a little bit, we're starting to get some really great clinical data out of those devices. Lasers in the clinic are not new. Lasers have been in medicine since the 1970s. They're widely used in surgical situations. They're getting more widely adopted in the aesthetic market for skin tightening and fat melting. Therapeutic lasers, however, have fared far less well in terms of uptake. Therapeutic lasers focus on expediting soft tissue healing. And the therapeutic lasers that are currently in the marketplace haven't been able to develop consistent clinical data. As a consequence, they haven't been able to achieve reimbursement, and this has been rate limiting to their uptake. The central challenge for the existing therapeutic lasers is they can't get enough energy into the tissues without burning the skin. Regain solved that challenge. We solved that challenge through rational device design. Wavelength selection matters. Existing therapeutic lasers are almost exclusively focused on wavelengths that are very highly absorbed by melanin. That means they hit the surface of the skin and they can't get past the surface of the skin. They can't get to the target tissue to heal it because they're heating the skin, and that thermal impact is limiting on efficacy. We've adopted a wavelength that has virtually no absorption by melanin and hemoglobin and oxyhemoglobin. That means that our energy can go through the skin and get to the site of the injury with negligible peripheral heating of the skin. If you can get energy to the site of the injury, you can do lots of good things, improving pain, expediting healing, and improving inflammation. But if you can't get to the site of the injury, then none of that's going to happen. Wavelength is key. We started doing some clinical trials with our device. I'm going to share with you, because it's a very largely orthopedic-driven market, I'm going to share with you a little bit of data that we obtained in a total knee replacement study. We took total knee replacement patients and we randomized them to two groups. One received laser treatment with our Warrior, one received a placebo control. We took the patients, measured their range of motion, and took their pain scores. Then we gave them 20 minutes of the Warrior or 20 minutes of placebo. We looked at their pain scores and their range of motions again. Then they had standard of care, 45 minutes of outpatient PT, and we again looked at their pain scores. All of the patients were receiving standard of care analgesics. I've summarized the results rather than go into the individual range of motion measurements, but the bottom line was that in the Warrior group, all of the patients that were receiving standard of care analgesics, 84% of that group reported an improvement in their pain control. In the first instance, it was transient, but as they had repeated Warrior treatments, everybody reported that the pain control was sustained. In that same Warrior group, 93% showed an improvement in range of motion with just a laser treatment. 65% of those patients didn't get a further improvement in their range of motion through classical physical therapy. So in 65% of those patients, a 20-minute Warrior session could replace a 45-minute physical therapy session with the same results. We want to expand on this knee work and look at whether incorporating Warrior into a standard PT, a standard total knee replacement regimen could result in decreasing the time to full recovery. We've had some good case studies in that regard. We recently had a 62-year-old gentleman return to pickleball 6 weeks after his TKR surgery, and we've had an 82-year-old playing 18 holes of golf 7 weeks after his TKR surgery. So we're pretty sure that we'll be able to design a clinical study that demonstrates full recovery, full activity after total knee replacement happens faster when you use Warrior. Weekend warriors, the golf players, the pickleball players are not our only clients. We have a large roster of elite athletes and professional sports people using our device. We have NFL players, we have XFL, which is the feeder group for NFL, we have MLB players, we have MLB teams, we have a lot of professional golfers, and we have several college athletes. The professional athlete segment is important to us because our first vertical is elective orthopedics. This is a reimbursement independent group. It's elite athletes, sports teams, private orthopedics, private physical therapy. Last year, this market was worth $12 billion. It's growing at 8% annually, and we think at peak, Regain could reasonably have a $250 million share of that market. Just for a bit of fun, because I've seen a lot of gory pictures and nice data in the last few days, I thought I'd include something a little lighthearted here. We're working a lot with Major League Baseball. Last year, Major League Baseball spent $1 billion on salaries for benched players. When we sat down with coaches, managers, athletic trainers, the consensus was 80% of those injuries and those salary bills would have been improved had the players used the laser. So we now have MLB working with us on developing this and looking at using the Warrior for prehab as well as rehab. And just for fun, the left-hand column, if you were an NFL player, and this is a run-of-the-mill average NFL player, not a superstar, if you were an NFL player and you stayed in for half of one game extra, you would have recouped the cost of the laser and a member of staff to laser you at will through that year. So for our elite athletes, the Warrior really is a game changer, pun intended. We're always asked how we stack up against our competition. We're patent protected. We have our wavelength and power settings in patents. We have a lot of proprietary components to our device. Most importantly, for the first segment that we're going into, we can be used on dark skin and we can be used on tattooed skin without any kind of thermal discomfort. That's a major differentiator for our competitors. Our treatment times are rapid. 20 minutes gets you your full range of motion in a knee. This makes for great practice economics, and the consistent data that we're getting means that we will be in good position to get reimbursement opportunities for markets outside, there's that slide, outside of the elite athletes. Our device is going to get filed for, its 510(k) will get filed sometime this year. We're thinking third quarter, so we should be selling devices next year. The elite athlete market is obviously extremely important to us. There are significant de-risk market expansion opportunities outside of that. Obviously orthopedics, but also pain management, wound healing, and neuropathy. Diabetic foot syndrome is something that's in our crosshairs. I'm going to leave it there because I'm exactly 9 minutes. Thank you very much for your time. I very much appreciate you listening. My name's Joy Barton. There's my email. If you want to contact me with any questions, please do. Thank you.